On today's update, who won HoH? Who are the targets? Is it gonna be a boring week? Nah, there's some drama ready to flow. If you guys are ready for the update, make sure you smash that like button, because we're about to get into the show.
Ori, give me a reason I should watch this week.
What's up, internet? My name's Ori. It is Friday, July 31st, day number 25 inside the Big Brother house. Who won HoH? Who are the targets? Plus, is the tool shed about to blow up? Let's talk about that, plus all the intel, drama, and more from yesterday's live feeds. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. We are live here right now on YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. On Fridays, we do things a little bit differently here. We do daily live feed updates all season long. But on Fridays, we go live. We jump into the chat with you guys. You're going to get the same update you normally do. So let's jump on into it. Little bit of a recap for you if you haven't been keeping up with everything going on. Kamu won HoH, nominated Mallory, Lyric, and Lala, but with the plan to backdoor Jason. Lyric went on to win the power of veto. Kamu called out Jason at Mallory's tea party, and that was followed by Jason banging on the teapot all around the house. Lyric ended up using the veto on herself, and of course, Jason went up on the block. Last night was the eviction episode where we saw Mallory go on to win the blockbuster competition, leading to a unanimous vote from the house for Jason to be evicted over Lala 12-0. Other little interesting thing from that, Julie actually told Jason that he had been in the top 3 of every single time capsule vote so far. So that's really cool. It's great for him, but honestly, it's not that surprising. I did kind of expect him to be near the top of those lists. But the biggest thing is, not only does this mean the other side of the house lost a huge competitor for them, but they also lost one of their best shots at power this week. Before the episode, though, we did have some feeds that have some things that we should cover. First off, Kamu ended up telling Lyric that, listen, Mallory doesn't have the votes. Look, if you want to do a sympathy vote, right, if she ends up losing the blockbuster, go for it. But yeah, if she loses the Jason, she's gone. And Kamu actually was like, listen, I trust that you're not going to tell anybody. And he even told Drew, like, hey, listen, Drew, I think Lyric's good. I don't think she's going to tell anybody. At that exact moment, Lyric was telling Mallory the exact thing that Kamu told her not to. Mallory actually thinks that people are lying to Kamu, though, and she's like, I don't think that's true. I think I do have the vote still. Lyric was telling Mallory, like, look, you got to look at it logically. Like, do we actually have Drew and Barrett? Like, when Devins won HoH, they didn't go up. That probably means they're working with him. Like, we have to think about this smartly. But Mallory still, like, doesn't 100% buy into it. Also, kind of another thing that Kamu did during that Lyric conversation was throw Drew under the bus, saying that he was supposed to tell Melody that Mallory didn't have the votes, but never did that. We had Barrett and Mallory check in. He was kind of, just seeing how she was doing. He lies to her about Dee and Angela voting for her if she were to lose the blockbuster. But also, she was kind of wondering why Drew was crying earlier. Turns out he was just kind of feeling sick. It had nothing to do with the vote. But I can kind of guess that this might come up later as kind of like one of those things are like, oh yeah, he was crying the morning of. He probably knew what was happening. Even though I don't think it actually was anything to do with that. Drew also ended up asking Kamu, like, hey, who should I be worried about? Like, is anybody worried about me? And Kamu actually says, like, straight up, like, yeah, Haley. Like, Haley's a little bit worried about you. She's kind of questioning, who you would really put up if you were to end up winning HoH and things like that. And Drew's like, I don't want anybody to be worried about me. Like, I'm going to be loyal. Might be a little bit too late for that. I got some bad news coming for you, Drew. Now, let's jump ahead. Oh, also with that, too, another thing I have not seen yet, I don't know if Barrett has shared this with Drew, but one of the things we do know is that Yash shared with Barrett that Devins had doubts in Drew. And again, I don't know. I've never heard Barrett tell that to Drew yet, so I don't know if that's something that Drew is actually aware of. Now, let's jump ahead a little bit in Eviction Day, because one of the other things that Drew was like really happy about after the eviction was like, oh yeah, we didn't even have to tell Melody. But again, Lyric has told Mallory, and Melody is going to be aware of all of this as well eventually. Also, like I said, Barrett, he had been talking to Dee and Angela. He ended up telling them, like, hey, listen, I appreciate that, like, you guys are willing to vote to keep Mallory for me. They never were. And he says it was really Devins who opened his eyes that, he doesn't want to ruin the majority that they have. Oh, bud, get ready for some bad news as well. After the show, though, we did end up with some post-eviction pre-HoH feeds. There wasn't too much from there. There was little chats here and there, but kind of the biggest thing was Lyric putting in work on Kamu, saying like, hey, I want to be brought in. Like, I will be loyal. Like, bring me into your group. Like, let's really do this. And one of the other things she ended up doing was dropping the info to a few people that her, Rome, and Jason were in an alliance called the Love Triangle, and now she feels alone. So she's kind of using that as like, hey, these are people that I'm not throwing under the bus anymore. It doesn't really matter. If they're gone, I'm still here. Let me figure out how I can say. We had Camden coming on in with a super chat. I know we had Edward too. Oh, there was nothing there. No text to speech. I do see a message with it though. We'll read that after the update is done here. Like I was saying, Lyric was actually going around making some moves just to kind of connect with some people, really kind of working on Kamu to see if she can get brought into something here. Again, just trying to protect herself going into this HoH competition. Eventually, feeds went down for the HoH competition, And when they came back, we found out Haley won HoH. Yeah, listen, it's a thing. It's probably one of the worst people for our entertainment value to see win HoH. Haley ends up pulling it out. The competition, I'm not 100% on the rules. It might have been like the one that Rachel won last season where you have to kind of run around the different rooms looking for the right object. There were also eliminations involved in this as well because the final two came down to Yash and Haley, and apparently she told Yash that he is good this week with her. Also, apparently, Haley might have tried to throw it, to bear it, at one point, kind of telling him, like, take the thing that they were looking for, but he let her take it instead, so that's something to keep in mind. She also told a few of them right away that she did not want to put up all girls, and her plan right now was for Melody, Taylor, and Drew. Now, the plan is to tell Drew that he would be a pawn to try and get Lala up on the block or something like that. But, like, this might have been, like, the dumbest plan I've heard. It's pretty bad. Like, you're really going to tell the dude that he's a pawn? Like, you just told the dude last week that, oh, yeah, I want a guy to go. And then he was like, all right, well, what guy? Yash? Like, there is no other guy on the other side of the house. So Drew is not going to just buy this pawn plan very easily, I don't think. So we'll kind of see how that goes. Another thing that Haley said was that she said that when she gets up to her HoH room and gets her letter, she was going to tell everyone who dragged her name through the mud that they have to leave before she reads her letter. Well, we'll see how that goes. We also ended up getting our have-nots for the week, Angela, Devins, Kamu, and Lala. I know that Devins volunteered. I'm not 100% sure about everybody else. Angela also said to Devins and Dee, like, hey, should we tell Kamu, Haley, and Chuck about the crossovers? And, say it was nothing that, the tool shed was formed, like, right after, and then everything was fine. And Devins is like, let's maybe hold off on that, right? Like, I don't think we have to be jumping to any guns here, so let's kind of wait. And then we later had Dee and Devins having a conversation, like, should we even tell Angela about the wolf pack? Ow! And Devins is like, I don't think we should do that. She freaks out about pretty much everything, so let's maybe just keep that one to ourselves. But they also push how they want to make Haley more hated in the house, even saying that they would like to get her to do her own tea party, if that was a possibility as well. It was a while before Haley ended up getting her HoH room, but when she did and it was time for the letters, I was like, all right, here we go. We're starting with the drama already. Here comes that you dragged my name in the mud moment. And it really just kind of fell flat. Like, she didn't actually kick anyone out of the room. Like, it was just like she said it to everybody in the room and like, don't come up eating my snacks if you drag my name through the mud. It was not good. It was pretty bad. And then everybody just kind of ended up leaving. But she did do a couple of one-on-ones. First up was Lala. But then, for some reason, she asked Kamu and Angela to stick around, so they were there for Lala's one-on-one. Lala pretty much throws Melody and Drew under the bus, even though earlier she talked to Taylor about this. She was like, I don't know if I want to throw Drew under the bus. I'd feel bad. And Lyric's like, all right, well, just don't say his name. It's not that big of a deal. Edward coming on in with another $5 super chat. We'll get to that in just a minute as well. So some other things.
So basically, Haley is a hypocrite about not putting up girl's face with rolling eyes. And also, Haley might as well have made to where Drew has the blockbuster.
It's possible. It is definitely possible that Drew will have to win this blockbuster if he ends up going on the block and doesn't win the veto. But we'll get to that. So like I was saying, Lala was in the HoH room with Haley, Kamu, and Angela. And she was ended up actually throwing Melody and Drew under the bus a little bit. Also, Mallory and Lyric, too, as well, for saying they hate Haley and kind of like talking crap about her behind her back. But the feeds kind of kept cutting in and out of this convo. But there also was a lot of Drew talk and about he was playing both sides and things coming up like how he's talking about Kamu and Lyric kind of being in this new showmance. And Haley also tells Lala that she will not be going up this week. Next up into the HoH room, this time an actual one-on-one with the HoH was Lyric. And, more of the kind of the same stuff where she says like, hey, like, listen, I've heard some things going around. I've heard some people talking. Like, do you have any idea about this? And she says, listen, like, you can't say anything, and these people are going to hate me for even saying this, but there's definitely two people that go around talking about how much they hate you, Haley. And Haley actually guesses Mallory and Melody, but Lyric says, oh, no. It's Lala and Taylor. They're the ones doing it. And Haley's like, I've heard otherwise. Like, I mean, Lala was just in here, and Lyric's like, listen, if they're doing it, I've never heard it. And she says, Taylor, I know for a fact, was just saying that Haley was campaigning against her in week 1, and that she thinks that maybe Haley even like kind of forgot about that, but Taylor has not. Lyric really does try to help Mallory and Melody out a little bit here, but at the end of the day, she was going with the whole every man for themselves approach and really was just trying to save herself in this whole one. Haley also says that, hey, this is going to have to be a week where you prove yourself to our alliance that you are real here. And what alliance is that exactly now, Haley? Like, yeah, Lyric was asking to be brought in by Kamu, but like, what alliance exactly, Haley, are you talking about here? Like, even just using the word alliance in a conversation with somebody who's not in your alliance is a little bit odd. I don't know if Lyric really caught on to that. It's not like she doesn't know that there's sides, but still, just to hear that, put it that way, was kind of interesting to see. Mallory was next up into the HoH room, and they kind of talk about, you know, again, kind of the word that was going around with Mallory potentially putting up certain people like Haley, Chuck, and Kamu. But Mallory said, like, that was never true. I don't even know who started that. Haley ends up throwing Melody under the bus, but without naming her name, just saying, like, listen, there's some people out there who've been talking about you, people that really close to you, even all the way back in week 1. Somebody said they didn't want to be tied to you because you're a dead horse. And I think you should be careful to who you say things to, even if they're your best friends. And Haley also says, like, she is not someone that Mallory is not someone that she's going after this week as well. And then next up, we had Melody. Again, some of this was cut off as well, but we do get Haley telling her about that dead horse comment and how that will come back to bite her. Again, like, you can tell it to Mallory, but then you're telling that same thing to Melody, like, right afterwards. You think these girls are not going to talk to each other? We'll see. Maybe they won't, but it is an odd thing to use the exact same phrase with her right afterwards. We did also get Melody kind of apologizing for things that she said that hurt Haley. And Melody was way too honest when she was saying that if she had won HoH, she was thinking of putting Haley up on the block if she won. Oh, Lord. Like, some of these people, man. Later, though, we do get Haley kind of telling Chuck about this. And she said that she was telling Melody, like, listen, you've been a mean girl to me. Like, you've been saying all this stuff. So that's kind of how that conversation really went. We got another super chat coming on in from Masionic.
Thanks from David for feeding us the feed so I can sleep. Hello from Canada, I head back to Texas Sunday. You are the best.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Shout out up to you in Canada. And good luck heading back to Texas. Where were we? So while that conversation was going on where Melody was up in the HoH room, we ended up getting Drew having a conversation with Kamu where he's like, should I even go up and talk to Haley? And Kamu's like, if you want, like, you can head on up there. And Drew's like, yeah, we got the tool shed. I'm not even worried. Get ready, bud. Yash and Lyric also made a final 2 in the storage room. They were kind of talking about different things about how the game is going on. Yash pretty much said he's over the whole Drew and Melody thing. He doesn't feel like he can trust Drew at all, just with stuff that's going on. Lyric also shares her doubts with Barrett, mainly how he was never actually going to vote for Mallory. We'll see if this gets back to Barrett, because Yash and Barrett have a pretty good relationship as well. And then eventually, pretty much everybody was starting to head to bed. Haley kind of didn't want to have too many late conversations, but she did end up grabbing Chuck to kind of fill him in on those talks that she had. And she pretty much comes down to saying, like, she will tell Drew that, like, you know, no one trusts him anymore. Again, wild thing to do if you just want him to be a pawn. And then some doubts did start to come up about putting Drew up on the block, a little bit from Chuck kind of pushing back on how it would affect the alliance. but she was really firm that Taylor and Melody would be going up. And then as they started to run through options, she kept saying that she won't put up Mallory, she won't put up Lala, she won't put up Yash, and she won't put up Lyric. And it really just ends up rolling back to Drew. Her main target will be Taylor. Her backup target will be Mallory. And then potentially, hey, maybe Drew can go home too. So that is pretty much where things are at right now with the game. Haley is your HOH. She's looking to put up Taylor, Melody, and Drew. But the big thing here is she's going to be putting Drew up as a pawn, but Drew is in the tool shed with her. So like this is a thing that will blow up the alliance, I would assume. I don't see how this couldn't do that. But that is where we are at the moment. We can take a look here real quick at our alliance chart from last week from Big Brother Junkie over on Twitter. Make sure you go check them out. Links in the description down below. But you can see here, right? Haley and Drew are both in the tool shed. So if they do take this shot, I don't see how things don't blow up here. Even just putting them up as a pawn doesn't really make a lot of sense when, again, you have so many options outside of the alliance. This is also why we were talking about last week with our allegiance chart. Still have to redo the new one for this week. But this was the big reason on why, like, hey, Barrett and Drew and Yash really should have flipped on over. But the big problem was Taylor not being on board with the vote. It would have ended up being a tie vote anyway. And then they would have pretty much done all of that for nothing. But this was definitely a moment where they all should have kind of worked together. Now, Taylor as well, not going along with the vote, not wanting to vote out Lala, could end up seeing herself up on the block this week because of that decision. So a lot of things are going to be going down here. We still, though, have the BB time capsule, which will be opening up today. Whoever wins that vote will get a chance to go on in, get a power or a punishment. We now know that Jason is taken off the board. Probably does mean that D is most likely to win this vote. Hopefully she comes away with just a punishment, not another power to help that side of the house. But it would be interesting to see her come back with that punishment, because one of the things that will happen is everybody already suspects that Devins has the power, but they don't know 100% for sure. But if you've had Angela come on in an egg, then you have Devins come in with nothing, and then you would have D the very next week come on in with another punishment. It would almost 100% confirm to everyone in that house. If they don't think that he would have the power, they would definitely not be paying attention at all. So it would be really interesting to see her come on back with like the unitard or something like that, where she now has this punishment, and then everybody will be looking at Devins a lot. Another thing that Devins and D had talked about was not ever telling anybody about the power. But if Devins ever feels like there is a moment where someone is looking to put him up on the block, just kind of leaning in, being like, you sure about that? Like, you sure you want to do that? I'm just saying, I don't think it's the best move for you. If you want to be able to run your HOH, I don't think you should put me on the block. So kind of using it more as like a deterrent without actually like fully saying he has the power. So we'll see how that all kind of plays out as well, if that ever comes to fruition. But that is pretty much where we are at. We are going to jump on into the chat with you guys and hang out, because I want to hear what you guys are thinking. What do you think of Haley as the HOH? What do you think of this plan to put up Drew as a potential pawn, and how will that affect the tool shed? And also, what do you think of her target right now being Taylor, and especially not putting up Lala, who I almost expected was a lock to go up on the block if Haley were to win HOH. So I want to hear everything from you guys here as we jump on in the chat. I do want to get to a couple of these super chats, though. We had Edward telling me, saying, Ori, give me a reason why I should watch this week to see the drama of the tool shed. How will this go down? Because I'm telling you, if I was Drew and this was the situation I was in, where just last week I could have flipped the vote, then this week someone who's supposed to be in that majority alliance, which I worked to save, and I could have tried to push the flip vote on even more, and I didn't, and that person in that majority alliance is now putting me up on the block, I'm blowing up the whole house. I don't care. At that point, I'm blowing the whole thing up. So we'll see how Drew is going to take this, how it would even affect his game, because the other side of the house, once he does kind of blow things up a little bit, they're going to be like, bro, like, what was really going on here? Were you actually trying to play both sides here and you knew about the vote last week and then you didn't tell us? So it's going to be interesting to see how this all kind of breaks out in that way. We also had Camden coming on in with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I'm enjoying this season so far, but I'm officially worried about the red corner steamroll. Only thing that could stop it is a Lyric or Mallory HoH next week. Well, that's the other thing. Not just that anymore, right? That maybe was what we were looking at before this week, but if Haley goes through with the whole Drew thing, there is no stopping Drew and Barrett anymore from just putting Chuck, Haley, and Kamu up on the block. In fact, the Icons really kind of set all this up to begin with by putting the red corner and the crossover kind of against each other with Drew and Barrett on one side, Haley, Kamu, and Chuck on the other. So even without a Lyric or a Mallory HoH, if Drew stays at this point, guess who's going up the block? Haley's definitely going to be one of them. I would assume Chuck would be right up there next to her. I don't think that he would put Kamu up on the block, so maybe that third one is a little bit iffy. Barrett would just put all three straight up on the block as well. And then even potentially, they might start to lose some faith in the Icons as well, because how would they not know that Drew was potentially going up on the block here? How would they not know that this was a potential possibility? We'll have to see how all of those dynamics play out this week as well. We had Edwards with Haley being potentially a hypocrite about putting up girls. Well, one of the things was she said she didn't want to put up all girls, and that's one of the big reasons why she's not looking at Lyric going up on the block or Mallory going up on the block. She doesn't want to do an all-girls nomination block, so she wants to put a guy up there. But really, your only options would be Drew and Yash. And again, you're in an alliance with one, and then you promised the other one that you wouldn't put them up in the HoH competition. So you really kind of put yourself in a pickle here, Haley. So that catches up with our super chats. Let's get into the actual chat with you guys. Good morning, everybody. Otter, Kamara, Raven, 80s Fisher, Joe Carr, Otter, Nani, Appease? I might be saying that wrong, and if I am, I apologize. Chemdoc, Savior, how are you? Dina the Explorer. Listen, if you guys don't know Dina is amazing. She has her own channel. Make sure you go check her out. She's always doing a lot of great Big Brother content. Make sure you check her out. She's great. Sadie, Tasha, Ryan, AJ, how are you guys all doing on this lovely morning? Tommy, I see you there. Doom Turkey, Life's Garden, how are you guys? Evan, Kim, Berta says, hello, love Dina. Yeah, Dina the Explorer. If you haven't seen her stuff before, go check her out. She's awesome. Laura, I see you over there on Twitch, on Kick. I see you hanging out there. Would we possibly be able to get a playback in the future? Have the eliminated house guests been fully out of the house? Oh, so like a buyback for one of the people evicted so far? Yeah, we're not getting that with any of the three that have been evicted. Maybe in jury. Rome is out in the world. I actually saw a video of him cheering on Lyric as she won the veto competition. What else? Ashley's out in the world as well. I'm sure Jason will see some stuff from him as well here in the coming days. But yeah, no buyback for the currently evicted people. Maybe potentially during jury. And I almost actually kind of think there would be some kind of like time travel type twist where either the week gets kind of nullified. I don't want that. Listen, I don't want that. Like maybe this week, if they were going to do it, if they were going to do a nullifying week, maybe this week would be the week to do it. But I do think there will be some kind of like timey-wimey kind of a twist where potentially someone could come back into the house eventually. But that wouldn't be until till jury. Mallory is rising into the house. Here's the thing with Mallory. I don't know if she's necessarily rising in the house. She is still a potential option to go up on the block as a replacement or something like that. But she really needs to come through with something more than just the blockbuster or the veto. We need an HoH from Mallory on that side of the house is what we really need. I'm so upset for Jason. You know, it is a shame to lose Jason. Not only one, because he brought some value to the show. He was full of creating drama and mess. But also he was a big competitor for the other side. He was somebody that could have facilitated some kind of a power shift in the game. So it would have been really great to see him get in there a little bit deeper and have some power in the game. But also, I'm a little disappointed that we never got to see Miss Selena S. Titties into the house. I wanted to see some S. Titties. That's it. The drag queen. It was a drag queen. It still doesn't sound great. But yeah, I think it's a shame that we never got Jason to be able to do the full drag in the house. I think he was really waiting to win an HoH and then maybe like do it for his nominations or something like that. But I think it would have been fun to have him like do the full get up and everything. They even talked at one point about like doing like a big like house one where he could get like the other guys in the house involved. I think that would have been fun. And as much as Camu says that he didn't want any part of it, I think he would have taken part of it, and that would have been fun as well. But yeah, that's kind of my biggest thing about Jason leaving is one, big competitor that would have been really helpful to the other side of the house and kind of make that power shift. You guys know I'm a fan of fun feeds. Like, I just want to see the most crazy and chaotic thing happen. So Jason being in there would have definitely helped with that. But also, again, another big person that could have potentially won a power. Like we found out with Julie last night as she welcomed them out with the teapot and the spoon. He was in the top 3 of every single one of the time capsule votes, which means he was probably beating out D. That means that if this week would have went through, right? If he was in the top 3 every time, right? Angela was number 1 week 1. Let's assume Devins was number 2. If not, Jason was number 3. Because if Devins went on to win week 2, we can assume he was number 2 on the list and Jason was 3. So if Angela's gone and Devin wins, that probably means that Jason was number 2 on the list. The only other thing is if he would have maybe dropped by 1 and been 3rd and D was 2nd. But if he was already in the top 3 for the first 2, that has to mean he was beating out D in the vote. So it's really kind of a shame that he potentially was going to get a power this week if he would have been able to stay in the house. Also, I just noticed that Angela and who is that? Is that Taylor? I can't tell. I think it might have been Taylor. Or is it Lala? I can't tell who it is. They got like sunglasses on and a hoodie. But it's Angela and somebody are up in the bathroom right now. I voted for Jason all week and now switched to Drew. I've been hearing a lot of Drew. I think Mallory is still someone. I think that's Lala. I think it's Lala and Angela hugging in the bathroom there. Let me listen in. Yeah, it's Lala. It's Lala and Angela. They're hugging. I think I could share this. Yeah. They're hugging in the bathroom there. Where was I? I was saying something, but I forget what it was. Jason did some messy things, but I wanted him to stay. That's the other thing too. And listen, at the end of the day, right? I think you guys all know. I think what Camu did at the tea party was so dumb. Like, that was such a terrible game move for him. I truly believe this. Before the tea party, I think Camu was in one of the best spots in the house, and I actually had him on my board as in the top spot in the house, just because he had so many shields around him. Like, Haley and Chuck always would have went before Camu. Even the icons probably would have went before Camu. And then he had connections with Drew. He had connections that he was building on the other side of the house. And it really felt like Camu had found himself in a great spot in the game. And then he did the tea party. And it's not like it fully tanked his game, but it kind of opened people's eyes up a little bit to like how he was playing. And then it definitely put more of a target on Camu and definitely hurt his game in the long run. Even to the point where he might not be the one who wouldn't go if Haley, Chuck, and Camu were up all on the block. It could very well be that Camu would be the one to leave in that scenario. So definitely something that he really messed up by doing the tea party. That said, I know a lot of people have issues with him right now, but the biggest thing is I don't like the idea that people are putting like extra things on his intentions. Let's be very clear here. Jason self-admittedly called it this himself. He's a messy bitch, right? Like that was Jason's whole thing. Week 1, he had the safety and he went and kind of got a little too comfortable with that safety and made a lot of really bad moves, right? The whole thing with Angela. Do you guys not remember that week where everybody hated Jason because of what he was doing to Angela? And then I'm over here defending him, being like, hold on, guys. Now I'm like kind of doing it for Kamu a little bit. Like not 100%, because like I said, Kamu's move was dumb. It was just dumb to do that at the tea party. It was unnecessary. There was no reason to do it. But there were reasons to put Jason up on the block. There were reasons to target Jason, right? So it's one of those things where like in the game, it makes sense, but also what you did after with the tea party, completely pointless. There was no point in going that extra with it because all it did was end up hurting your game in the long run. Or he's the devil's advocate all the times. Honestly, like a little bit. I'm a little bit of a devil's advocate over here. I think the biggest thing is, for me, I know how much this game affects people. I see it every single season, right? Like almost everybody in this house has cried already, right? Like every single person in this house has cried at least once already, right? So it's one of those things where this game just messes with your head so much to the point where it's like, I don't want to dogpile anymore on some of their bad decisions because they're going to make some bad decisions in their house. That's a thing that's going to happen. So yeah, it's a thing. CBS spent all of the money to get these players to come on to the season and need them to stay in the house. Harley, that is a thing as well. It was really like, I don't like when people just say, just the devil, Lara. I don't like the idea that people like think it was like fully rigged for the icons. Because again, like I don't think they had to rig it, right? The biggest thing that they did was they gave them that first HoH. And then with the powers being a public vote, that was a way putting the thumb on the scale for them. So was it rigging? No, but they definitely had a lot of big advantages coming on in. And yeah, they're paying them. Like, listen, at the end of the day, Devins and D and Angela, they're making out pretty well on this season, win or lose. So for them, they've got a nice downside guarantee pretty much on their game. So they can go in there, have some fun. And I think that's one of the reasons why D and Devins are having so much fun in this game. They're loving it right now. They were actually talking last night in the gym. That's where they were having that conversation about like, oh, like, should we even tell Angela about the wolf pack and stuff like that? And one of the things Devins ended up saying to the camera, I think it was after D left, but he's like, Probst, Jeff, I hope you're proud of us. I hope you're proud of us, what we're doing here. We're trying to make all the Survivor peeps proud. And he also said he's having way too much fun. He actually says Big Brother is way more fun than Survivor. So you heard it here. We have two different opinions on Big Brother versus Survivor from the players. Sari absolutely hated Big Brother. The worst thing she's ever experienced. Devins, he loves it. He's having the most fun he's ever had, I think. So it is kind of fun to see that. And again, it was also one of those things where, like, you know, I always like, you know, at the end of the day, kind of rooting for the underdogs, right? The people in the minority of the house, the ones on the other side. And obviously, Devins and D are in a power position. They have a lot of control in this game. So I was like, not like mad at them, but like, you know, rooting against them a little bit. Like, I really like Devins, but I'm kind of rooting for them to see some adversity, mainly because I want to see Devins use the power. Like, my ultimate thing is like, yo, next week, I want to see Devins up on the block so we can see the power get used, because that would be awesome, right? Like, I just want to see the power get used. I don't want it going 6 weeks and then we never see the power get used, right? But one of the things when they were saying that they wanted to, like, cause more chaos again, I was like, all right, I'm back to liking them. Like, let's see. Probst is pissed. And Whiptail, that's my thing. They're scheming, and I love the scheming. I want to see more scheming. The more scheming, the better. And I'm down with that. Dak Chats, what's up? How you doing? You're over the pair of them, Kim. I bet he doesn't have to put in any work or run around. I think Devins is like almost like this is on easy mode. Like, let me volunteer for Have Not again, so it's more like Survivor. You ever get in contact with Keanu? Maybe. We'll see. Tasha, Devins was meant to play Big Brother, and he doesn't care if he wins or loses, so it makes it more fun. He's got a great personality. And listen, Tasha, like normally, I'm like, I don't want somebody who doesn't care if they win or lose. But also it's fun, right? Like he's like the way he's playing, it's not like, oh, I don't care if I win or lose, and then he just sits around and does nothing. He's going out there and he's like doing messy stuff. He's causing chaos. He's helping push Kamu to even do the tea party in the first place, right? I think that's a big thing that gets overlooked here, right? Kamu had this idea to do the tea party himself, 100%. But no one told him it was a bad idea. like not one person that he talked to, and he really only talked to the icons about it, told him, hey, maybe don't do this. They encouraged it. They were like, yeah, that sounds great, buddy. Only thing, don't say our names. Other than that, they were like, let's go, get on in there. So they're pot stirrers, and I like them being pot stirrers, and that's a lot of fun. Again, do they care if they win? Probably not, because like I said, they have a really good downside guarantee on this. Whether they win this show or they get evicted this week, they're going and they're walking away looking pretty here. So they're just having some fun with it. They're playing the game hard. And for that, I like it. Let's see. Is Drew really screwed? It seems his position really cost him right now. And he is probably a backdoor target, no? Well, the thing is now, he's not even a backdoor target. As of right now, Haley, the HoH, she's looking at putting up Drew right up on the block right away. And this is the thing too. This I can't tell you how bad of an idea this is. Like, look, I get it. All right, you're blowing it up. This is great for literally everyone but Haley, I think. Like, it is. This is such a great move. Except for Haley, except for Chuck. Like, it's not a good move for them because now they're blowing up the tool shed. The icons are probably going to then just sit back and relax. They're not even going to try and win the HoH. Just let everybody go after each other. And putting Drew up right on the block right away, I just don't see how this doesn't blow up the house. I don't see a scenario where Drew gets put on the block and the tool shed doesn't blow up. I just don't see it. Leo, coming on in, hitting that sub button. Leo, you might not have known this, but when you hit that subscribe button, me and you, we now have a final two. Yeah, Leo, we're going to the end. We're going to the end, buddy. And listen, if you hear anything in chat about like other final twos I have, don't buy it. Don't buy it. It's not true. They're lying to you. It is not true, Leo. We're going to the end. It's me and you, bud. Thank you so much for hitting that sub button. And listen, by the way, guys, if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. We do the daily live feed updates here all season long, first thing in the morning, to keep you up to date with everything going on inside the Big Brother house. We do the watch parties as well, and then on Fridays, we go live with you guys like we here are now. And it's always a lot of fun hanging out with you guys here on the chat. I absolutely love it. Also, make sure you guys check out the socials. We got a lot of great stuff you can check out. You can check out my Twitter. We also have oristreams.com. Check out the website we got going on. It's a lot of fun over there. It's where you can get your picks in for the BB28 draft. If you're just joining us mid-season, guess what? You're not missing out on the draft because you can get in on it right now. We have the flex pick, where each week you get to pick someone that you think is going to do well this week and score the most points. You could pick them and earn some points. So even if you're starting late on the draft, get on in there now. Start getting your picks in. You still could come out on top. You've only missed 3 weeks, and there's a lot of people that didn't get points each week. So maybe you can make up some ground here. Get on in there over at oristreams.com. Plus, also, it's just like a cool way you can kind of connect with other people from the community here who are over there as well. You can post things about things that you're seeing on the live feeds or during the show. If you tag me, maybe it ends up on the update, who knows. But also it's a really cool thing we have where you can follow the whole timeline of events in the house. So if you've missed things, if you're trying to catch up, that's a great place to go check out as well. Other things that are cool, like I said, we're not only just live here on YouTube, we're live on Kick and Twitch as well. You can check those out. You can freely watch wherever you like. It is totally up to you. Oh, I just realized I don't have the chat up on screen. That's better. Now you guys can actually see each other chatting. Now you guys can actually see each other chatting over here, because there are some people on Twitch. There's some people on Kick who do watch as well. But there, now you can see everybody chatting up there. And then we have a new member coming on in, Beth, becoming a member of the Oreos. Beth, thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. That is another way you could support the channel here, is by becoming a member. You could do things like support the Ori Fund, !Ori Fund. It helps support Oris everywhere. But listen, none of that is ever required. It's always appreciated. The easiest way, if you want to help this channel, just smash that like button. Hitting that like button helps more than you could ever possibly know. Or you should make a Diamond Power of Veto with Devin's look. With Devin's look. Like this. So his veto on there. Actually, did you guys know I have a veto? I actually have my very own Golden Power of Veto. Funny enough, this was actually sent to me by one of you guys. Who's that coming on in, Lacey?
How different would this season be if everyone could have competed for the first HoH?
The first what? What are they? Wait, what are they competing for? The first what? But Lacey, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. You did say HoH. It just read that as HoH. Honestly, Lacey, here's the thing. Would it have been that much different? Probably not. If I'm being completely honest, right? If everyone competes for the HoH, I don't know. Let's just say any random person could have won. The only one that I think maybe changes it up a lot is if it was like Rome or Jason who ended up winning that first HoH. Because then maybe they're ending up in the bigger power structure. Other than that, I do really think at the end of the day, the icons were going to be able to find their group. The red corner probably still comes together the way it does. The girls all still come together the way they do, right? You just might end up with different numbers in the tool shed, right? Like that tool shed alliance, that big majority alliance, would just probably have a few swapped out members. Like, for example, another thing, if Jason had shared that he was actually like a reality TV person as well, but by doing the drag race, he might have actually been in with Angela D and Devonsmore, because they would have been like, hey, you know what? Yeah, you know what? We're all icons here. We have to stick together. I understand him not saying it right away, but when the others came in, like, I absolutely would have went to them. Like, if I was Jason and I was on a reality TV show, listen, guys, if I was on Drag Race, should I sign up for Drag Race? Should I do it? I'd lose. I'd lose hardcore. I don't know how to do makeup. I'd lose. I'd lose really bad. But if Jason would have shared that, maybe he's in with the icons more. Maybe he's included in the tool shed. Maybe that's a thing he does if he wins that first HoH. But also we saw what he was like with safety and probably would be messy anyway. But I do think overall, the first HoH thing probably doesn't change things too much. And even look, if we're being honest, there's really only one power. Yes, it is the strongest power that Devin's ended up getting by far. But other than that, I honestly don't think it would change too much, right? Hindsight's always 20/20, right? All that kind of stuff. The biggest thing is, right, I still think those icons would have found their way in. There's just a chance that they wouldn't have, right? There's a chance Who was it? I think it actually might have even been Jason, who was like super against the icons right off the bat. So like there's a chance he wins HOH and then Angela, D, and Devins are up on the block. But I don't think it would have went that way. If I'm being honest. I think eventually the icons would have found their way in the game. They would have found their kind of group and been in a very similar position. But by giving them that first HOH, you're pretty much giving them the runway to be able to find the power structure, find the numbers, get everybody together because you're controlling how that first week is going. I've kind of talked to us about this before because there always used to be that thing where it's like, oh, do you want to win the first HOH? Is it bad to win the first HOH? I think people have kind of come to the conclusion, and at least me, it's not whether or not you win the first HOH, it's how you use it, right? A good player can use that first HOH, set themselves up for the entire season. A great player can win the first HOH and set themselves up to have an easy ride for almost the rest of the entire season. A bad player will end up on the block on week 2, right? So it's not about like, oh, whether or not you win it or not, it's how you use it. And when you give the HOH to good players like D, we got to give her credit. She's a good player. You're going to be able to set yourself up really well, at least moving forward. The big difference is here. The big difference, and I do still think there might be some stuff that kind of comes from this, is the Survivor players and how they play Big Brother. Because they play it very much like Survivor, right? Where if you were on Survivor and you had this situation, yeah, get Drew and Barrett out, right? Why even wait to get Drew and Barrett out? There's no reason to even wait, right? Because you could have the numbers, you could expose their games, and you could just vote them out. But that's not how Big Brother works. You need to win an HOH. You only have a certain amount of people that can be voted out, right? So I think it's eventually going to catch up to them. We saw something very similar here with Suri. Suri, if you guys remember, ran BB28 for about 30 days. It was about 30 days that Suri ran that game. And then eventually, it all started falling apart after 30 days because she couldn't keep up with it. The Survivor players, one of the other things I think I kind of realized with this too, is it's not just the speed of the game. Like with Survivor, someone's leaving every time. Oh, we got the jewels coming on in. Is that Cat Hood coming on in with some jewels? I still don't know what the jewels mean. I don't know what they mean, but thank you so much. I appreciate when they come in. One of the things is with the Survivor players, right? People are leaving left and right, right? Like 3 days, you're losing 3 people. 4 days, you're losing 4 people. If you don't get along with somebody, for example, like Lala and Haley, they don't get along right now. Well, guess what? One of them would probably be gone in like 3 days, so it's not that big of a deal. In Big Brother, that person's around for weeks. Weeks at a time, you have to deal with that person. It's not days, it's weeks. And we saw that with Suri, where even like her best friend, Mama Felicia, she was hating on her by the end of it. She was like, I can't stand this woman. So like, it's just one of those things where it's such a long game. Those little kind of interactions, keeping up that facade of like, yeah, we're good, we're cool, and kind of pretending to like people, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of effort to do, and doing it for nearly 90 days is so hard. Well, and right, that's the thing. She farted on her bed. She farted on her bed. That kind of thing doesn't happen in Survivor. You fart on somebody's bed, you're voted out the next night. If you fart in the shelter, guess what? You're getting voted out the next day. The very next day. If you're farting in the shelter on Survivor, you're done for. You're out of there. You're not standing a chance. So it exactly right. You can't fake it for 90 days. We had another jewel coming on in there. I missed that one though. Let me see if I can pull it up. I think I can pull it up in this chat. We had another jewel. What jewel was that? I don't know who did it. I don't know who did it, but I heard it. Thank you so much. Was Drag Race on CBS? If not, that's why nobody cared about it. What is Drag Race on? Is that on Bravo? Which I think is like part of CBS? Or no, Bravo's part of the oh, it was Trailer Swift. Well, thank you so much for the jewel, Trailer Swift. I love it. It's a great name, by the way, too. I think Bravo's technically part of NBC, like the Peacock family. And that's why you saw you see like all the housewives and stuff like that on the Traders. So yeah, it's technically not a CBS show, but that's also another reason why they didn't bring that much up about it as well. Who's that coming on in? Somebody following in over on Kick. Listen, for the YouTube people, you guys might not know this, but when you follow over on Kick, you get a motorboat. Thank you so much for following over on Kick. Oh, it's on MTV? Is it? Oh, it's on VH1? If that's the case, then that is CBS. That is a CBS like affiliate. Because they're part of the Paramount family. VHS and MTV. I don't know. For some reason, I thought Drag Race was on like Bravo or something like that. I don't know why. I don't watch it. I've never seen it. Someone was saying that there was like at least one season where there was like strategy involved with it. But that's kind of my big thing. It's like, I don't know. If there's not strategy to it, like I'm not that interested in it. It's affiliated with Paramount and CBS. Then yeah, I don't know why they didn't make a bigger deal with it. I know they didn't want to say S titties. They did not want to say S titties on the show. I know that for sure. She cut her toenails on the bed. Oh yeah. And that's what I'm saying, right? There's all those like little things that start to bug you in the house. And in Survivor, yeah, they're there for a day. Just get rid of them the next day. Oh, you know what? I can last 3 days with them. It's fine. In Big Brother, no, you're lasting 3 or 4 weeks with that person. I think Devins is different in a way that he knows how to go with the flow. D is more of a typical Survivor player. I'm kind of with you on that too. I think Devins is going to take to Big Brother a little bit better than D. But D's also not doing bad either. She's not doing bad. I'm just interested to see how long they can keep this up. CT Girl also following over on Kick. Thank you so much. Once again, you might not know this, but when you follow on Kick, you get a motorboat. Thank you. Thank you so much for following over on Kick. We are live on Kick, Twitch, and YouTube. You're more than welcome to watch wherever you like, wherever you feel comfortable. And thank you for following along. They're both doing well. Drag Race is a bunch of queens being messy. You know what, though, Kim? You might have sold me on it then. That does sound fun. D is a challenge player. That's another thing, too. D has familiarity with not just Survivor, but other games. But the challenge is another one. It moves really quick. It's not the same as Big Brother, right? Like, there's people going home, like, each night or every other day on the challenge, right? So it's one of those things where I think it's going to be hard for them. Also, I feel like my chair is lower. I don't know why my chair feels lower, but it feels like my chair is lower. Who's that coming on with a jewel? Another jewel coming in from John? Was that John coming in with a jewel? And it was the uncle or uh-oh. Oh no, it was Joni. Joni coming on in. Johnny? Might be Johnny. I'm probably saying this so wrong and I apologize. But coming in with the uncle or uh-oh. Am I an unk? I think I might be an unk. A couple of months I'll be an unk. Go Birds. Yes, let's go. Is that Dacky? Daiquiri. Thank you so much for coming on in and joining us. But yeah, go Birds. Absolutely. Training camp just start. Looking forward to the season coming up. Is the editing that makes the challenge look short? However, it's actually 90 days. No way a challenge is 90 days. It's not 90 days. Maybe like if they go to like a second location, right? I gotta look this up. There's no way the challenge is 90 days long. How long does the challenge shoot for? So this is just Google AI, but it's actually saying 40 to 60, which is longer than I expected. Yeah, it's saying like 6 to 8 months. That is longer than I expected for the challenge. I thought it was just a lot quicker, where they kind of had everything all set up and they were pretty much kind of running through things. But yeah, look at that. Longer than I thought. Still not as long as Big Brother, but still that's longer. That's longer than way longer than I actually expected to be. Yeah, it ain't 90, but it's like 2 months. Yeah, I didn't know it was actually that long. I thought they were still doing like in a month max. That's what I just kind of assumed. Challenge All-Stars is shorter than film. That makes sense. That makes sense. Do you think Drew will connect with the Angela and D hate? I don't know if he's going to connect it, but here's the big thing. If Haley goes through with this, if Haley puts Drew up on the block, I just see no way where this doesn't blow up the house, right? The plan from D, Devins, and Angela, they're going to deny. Like, if Drew starts dropping stuff about, like, the crossovers and all that kind of stuff, they're just going to deny. But he doesn't have to expose the crossover. He could expose the tool shed, though, and that still ends up exposing D, Devins, and Angela, right? So, yeah, I just don't see any way Drew goes up on the block and we don't get some kind of big game-breaking situation here where the alliances are all exposed. And then moving forward, it's very much a split house going forward. And then you would have to have the icons choosing a side. Would they just stick with Chuck, Haley, and Kamu? Probably, because they would have the power at the moment. But it would be interesting to see how that kind of develops. Also, how are, Barrett and Drew going to handle Drew going up on the block? Because they're going to have to assume that D'Angelo and Devins would have known something about this. So I'm actually really excited to see how that goes. I'm not exactly happy with the outcome of the HoH. I definitely would have preferred some different things to go down, just especially for fun feeds, right? For our entertainment. But I do think we're going to see some drama. I don't think this is going to be just like a boring week where nothing happens. I think it's going to be messy. I think there's going to be some fights going on. And I think there's going to be some games that are blown up. At least that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm pulling for right now. That, and also that hopefully Mallory wins the HoH coin flip and then she flips it and lands on heads. That is also another option that I would love to see take place. If Mallory wins the power and then flips the coin and it comes up heads, that would be great. That would be great. Mellow Drew is in shambles. I mean, he did catch the Devin disdain when he was joking around. I felt that was unfair because Devin started their friendship being happy-go-lucky, then changed to uncle. I don't know if it necessarily is disdain, but that was definitely Devin's like making it clear, like, listen, I don't want to keep Mallory around. Like, Mallory's bad for my game. Like, I get you want to keep Mallory around, but it's bad for my game. And then the bigger thing was when he was kind of like going at him because he's like, bro, you can't just going around saying the red corner and blue corner because that just blows up my game. So, like, I understand why Devin's like had to get a little bit serious with him there. But the thing is, I'm still not 100% sure Drew knows that, like, that side of the house is really sus of him. Like, as far as I think Drew's aware, the only one I think he really knows of that has an issue with him right now is potentially Haley through Kamu. Because I haven't seen Barrett fill in Drew on what Yasha told him. That's still something that I haven't seen happen yet. I don't know if I missed that at some point. Maybe he filled him in here and there at something. But for the most part, I think Drew still feels like he's pretty good with mostly everybody. Like, he doesn't realize that Kamu has doubts about him. Rod, you say that, but he talks to Kamu like he trusts him 100%. He talks to Angela and D. Well, he's blind, right? Oh, he doesn't. Got it. And that's the thing. Like, he at this point just feels like he's still pretty good with everybody. So him going up on the block by Haley, someone in his alliance, if that as I hit my microphone. If that doesn't open his eyes, I don't know what does. Do you think Drew's game is like Tyler's? Not really. Because here's the thing. It's not like Drew's going around just making final twos with everybody, right? It's not like Drew's over here like some goofy dude on the internet who talks about Big Brother who makes final twos with everybody who subscribes, right? Drew is more running around being like just kind of that like rat, right? He's playing more of a rat game where he's going to, you know, the Devons and Angela and Dee and giving them all the information he can. He's going to the other side and just kind of like giving them almost like false information. That's the other thing about it too. Yes. Is Drew being sketchy in the game? Absolutely. But is Drew loyal to Devons, Dee, and Angela? Absolutely. A Matt Hoffman vibe. That's a good one, Skee Ball. And also Skee Ball. What's up, buddy? That's a good shot. That's a good call. Kind of Matt Hoffman vibe where it's like he's not going around making alliances with everybody, but he's going around doing his thing. Like a JC, oh boy. Do you think Yash will make a subtle move that will help him gain momentum? He holds grudges though. The thing is, there will be things that hold Yash back. He is someone I think is finding himself in a really good spot because he's kind of made himself the new middle guy. But I think you have that point there where he kind of holds grudges a little bit, and he's very distrusting of Drew right now. And I don't know. I just see things that are going to end up limiting him. He's also like very trusting of Devons, Dee, and Kamu right now with the Wolfpack. I don't know how invested he fully is on that, but he really shouldn't be fully invested in on that. But I like where he's at. I'll tell you, you know who the player right now, the one who like I could see like just skyrocketing up the board. We can take a look at my old board here. Lyric. I think Lyric, like, if she didn't have the whole thing with Rome to begin with, I think Lyric would be like an S tier player if she never got into the showman stuff. Lyric's like really kind of good. Like I think there's a lot to like about Lyric. She's make a really good connection with Kamu, although that is causing some drama, right? Because now we have Drew. Like Drew's not even like trying to start drama about it. He's just kind of messing with Kamu, being like, "Oh, you and Lyric, blah blah blah," right? And like joking around. It's not even like he's trying to like be like, "Ooh, look at Lyric." Like that's not his intention. Like his intention is not to throw Kamu under the bus, but he's going around making these jokes, and then people see that, and then they think about it, and they're like, "Bro, like, why are you kind of doing that to one of the people on in your alliance?" Right? It's kind of similar to the joke that Barrett made at Devin's expense, right? With the whole pass the phone thing they did the other day, where they actually ended up posting that. I saw it on a YouTube short. Barrett was like, "Oh, I'm passing the phone to someone who definitely doesn't have the power." Right? Like very obvious that like, "Oh, I'm passing it to somebody who I think has the power." And then he passed it to Devins, right? As a joke, right? It wasn't like he was trying to blow up his spot or anything. He was just kind of joking around. But then the whole idea is like, wait, why would you do that to somebody who's in your alliance? You're kind of calling them out a little bit. You're kind of calling them out just a little bit there. So yeah, I think it's interesting how Drew's playing and how even though he's super loyal, they're looking at that and seeing someone who's not loyal because of the way he's playing, even though he's super loyal to them. And now with everything that happened with the potential Mallory vote, where if Mallory would have lost Blockbuster and she would have went, Drew and Barrett are in big trouble because now the girls know through Lyric that, yeah, they weren't even ever going to vote for you, Mallory. Like, Mallory doesn't necessarily want to believe it. That's a poor Mallory. Like, she doesn't want to believe that people are not being honest with her. Everybody's lying to everybody else, but not me. And because of this, right, they now know, even though Mallory didn't leave, they know that they weren't probably going to vote for their side and were kind of working against them. Lyric, again, also somebody, one of the other reasons I really like Lyric, like I mentioned, she picks up on things, right? One of the really simple things, if you're in that house right now, if you're Yash, if you're Lyric, if you're Mallory, if you're Taylor, Lala, how do you not look at who won HOH, who went up on the block, and who didn't, right? Let's just look at our board here right now. Here, we'll bring up this one because I think it's a little easier to see, like, the sides and everything on why what I'm about to say should make sense. If you're any one of those girls, if you're Jason, right? Lyric brought this up. When Devins won HOH, who didn't go on the block? Barrett and Drew. Why? Why did Barrett and Drew not go up on the block, but people from that side were, right? How about the first week with D? Yeah, it's the first week, you know, different things are going on. They were never really brought up. In fact, Barrett's name was brought up, and it was shut down right away. Why? Right? You have to think about those things. Because if you don't think about those things and then how things have gone in the game, and then you start observing like, oh yeah, you know what? Dee and Barrett hang out a lot. They hug a lot, right? Oh yeah, you know what? Barrett, Devins, and Drew, they're always hanging out, right? You gotta, those are like the little things you have to pick up on. Because again, when you're in that house, you don't have the information like we do, right? We know everything. Not everything, but we know most of it. When you're in the house, you don't have that. So you have to pick up on those little clues throughout the game, right? Like, why did this person not get nominated? Also, why was their name never even really brought up as a possible nomination, right? Like, you never even heard their name even get thrown around much by anybody. So you have to kind of just like, not assume, but just kind of like, there's a good chance. There's a good chance they're working together. And Lyric is someone who picks up on those type of things. So yeah, I really like Lyric. Like, Lyric's like the dark horse where it's like, if someone was going to come out of nowhere and win this game right now, and like you told me like it was going to be someone on the bottom part of my list, I'd say it was Lyric. I'd say it would be Lyric. Good morning, Lisa. How you doing here? Who on HOH just joined? Who's that? Is that Nathan? Nathina? Is that Nathina? I think it's Nathina. If so, that's an awesome name. I hope I'm saying it right. But yes, it was Haley who won HOH. She has the plan right now to potentially put up Taylor, Melody, and Drew, but Taylor being her target. I want to talk about that real quick too. If your target is Taylor and your whole plan is you want to break up Lala and Taylor, that's like, this isn't like, oh, this is what I'll tell Drew and then we'll backdoor Drew. This is literally Haley's plan. Her goal is to get rid of Taylor so that she breaks up Taylor and Lala, right? So tell me, why would you put up Drew, someone who's in a named alliance with you? It just makes just put Lala and Taylor up together. But for some reason, Haley's decided, I don't want to do all girls on my nomination block. And then I also don't want to put up Yash, who I'm not working with. No official alliance. No working relationship at all. Haley's nuts. She is nuts. And that's why it's like, look, it might have been like worst case scenario to have Chuck and Haley win this HOH kind of for like our fun, right? Like, what we want to see is power shifts, right? We want to see the other side of the house win. We want to see, different people getting power in this game and different factions getting power. And even if like you had like maybe a D or a Devins or an Angela as an HOH, that could be interesting. Even a Barrett or a Drew, right? Because how would they go about it, right? Would Barrett really take those shots like he's been talking about of just putting straight up Haley, Chuck, and Kamu? Maybe. How about Yash? Like, what would a Yash HOH look like? A Mallory HOH would have been so much fun. Lyric, Melody, even a Taylor HOH would have been kind of interesting to see. So yeah, Chuck and Haley was probably like worst case scenario as far as like team fun feeds, but Haley now has this crazy idea of her nominations and who she's targeting, and it really makes no sense. Like, if you're going to do this, if you're going to put up Drew, you make him your target. You don't put somebody up in your alliance, a named alliance, the majority alliance. You don't put somebody up in your majority alliance if they're not the target. And that's where it really confuses me. Because even if he's not the target, if I'm Drew, I'm never trusting. Like, I already don't have trust in Haley, right? Like, Drew already doesn't have trust in Haley. But if I'm Drew now, after getting put up as a nomination, never again. Never again. Let's see where we're at here. Haley will most likely be the first out of her alliance. She's delusional. Why is Haley so random? I see her changing her mind. Well, that was the thing too, was at first I thought maybe she would change her mind because she was having the conversation with Chuck, and it did seem like Chuck was kind of pushing back a little bit on like, hey, like, are you really sure this is a good idea? And she basically was like, well, I'm not going to put up Lyric. I'm not going to put up Lala. I'm not going to put up Mallory. And I'm not going to put up Yash. It's like, all right, well, you kind of don't have anybody else to put up then. Like, that's literally your only other options. And then if you're Drew, why are you not saying, like, wait a minute, why aren't you putting those other people up? You don't need me for a pawn. This makes no sense unless you're trying to get me out of the game, which isn't what she's trying to do. It's crazy. I want to see Haley make a mess and get voted out next. And so that was the thing, too, where I'm kind of excited that the icons seem to want to fuel Haley and push her to potentially do her own tea party this week. They were like, look, we might not even need to do something. She might do it on her own. But if we can make this happen, they're down. And I'm kind of down if they can make it happen, too. If Drew's on the block, both sides will vote him out. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, that's not what Haley even wants. Haley wants Taylor gone. She wants Taylor gone and then Melody gone. It's crazy. It's such a wild plan. I really don't get it. It's an amateur move. Putting Drew up is horrible. Isn't horrible. She can spin it a couple of ways to not look odd. Tiny Tina, what possible way? What possible way could she spin it? Right? I don't see any way to do it. Oh, you're putting me up there with Melody, the people I think I'm in a showmance with? Okay. First boot Drew. I did say Drew would be first boot. And I thought I was on to something with that. I thought I was on to something. What has Taylor done to Haley? Like, good question. Good question. Basically, she just wants to break up Taylor and Lala. But again, if your goal is to break up Taylor and Lala, why are you putting Drew up on the block? Like, the plan doesn't make any sense. Right? And that's why, like, I thought, here's my initial thought. When she said this plan, I was like, oh, like when she first said she was going to put up Drew, I was like, oh, does she actually really want Drew out? Like, I thought maybe she was holding the cards close to her chest where she's like, yeah, I want to put him up as a pawn. But really in her head, maybe she's thinking of him as a target. So I was kind of waiting for a conversation with Chuck because I knew a convo with Chuck would give us the real deal. And yeah, no, she just wants to get rid of Taylor. That is legitimately her plan, is to get rid of Taylor by putting up Melody and Drew. And then if Taylor's not there, Melody's her backup. That's her backup target. But like a lot of you just said in chat, if Drew's there on the block on eviction night, if he's on the block on eviction night, how does he not leave? Let's even just look at the numbers real quick, right? Let's say it's Drew and Melody on the block. You're going to have Lyric, Mallory, Taylor, Lala, probably Yash. Yash doesn't trust Drew. That's 5 right there. I would actually then also think this is where it would be tough with Devins D and Angela. This is where it would be tough. Because you would have Devins D, Angela Barrett, Haley, and Kamu. And that's 6. So it would be 5-6 on keeping Drew over Melody in that situation. But we know how distrusting they are of Drew. But we also know how distrusting they are of Melody. So would they vote him out or would they vote Melody out? And then just blame it all on Haley? I honestly, I'm just game theorying this thing out in my head. I do not know the answer to that question at this moment. I do not know the answer to that question. I really don't. Because I could see either way the argument going with that. Because you do already have something set up with Drew, right? You don't have something set up with Melody. Drew, if he comes back in the house, isn't going to go for Angela D and Devins. Melody, if she comes back in the house, is still going to go after Angela D and Devins. I don't know 100% if Drew would leave in a Drew versus Melody situation. I don't know that. If it was Drew Taylor, I think Taylor would go. Because I think even though Mallory and Melody and Lyric don't have that trust in Drew anymore, I think they would still see Drew as the one that could help them more than Taylor. If that makes sense. Right? And this is again, all the things where if you're putting Drew on the block and he's not your target, what is the point? If you're putting Drew on the block and he's not going home, why even do it in the first place? Because all you're going to do is blow up your giant majority alliance, the very thing that Barrett and Drew decided they didn't want to do last week. Now, again, they needed Taylor. They needed Yash on that as well. And once they lost Taylor, it was really kind of downhill from there. Yash was also skeptical. Forget that word. Yash wasn't too sure about Drew being on his side. So they ended up losing Yash as well. So it was one of those things where it's I don't know. I just don't understand why you would put up Drew if he's not going to leave. And yeah, there could be a scenario where I could see the icons just going, yeah, let's just get rid of Drew now. But would it make sense if he's up there against Melody? Skeptical. There you go. That was the word. Thank you, Chrissy. It was there. It was right there, but I couldn't get it out. Who did she put up? Nobody yet. Haley hasn't put up anybody yet. She just won the HoH. We still have the time capsule. Time capsule has been taking place before the nominations, mainly because some of the powers are to take over the HoH and the nominations. So they want to give them the power before that takes place in case they want to use that power this week, right? If you're Mallory, if you're Drew, well, probably not Drew, but if you're Mallory going into this and you won the HoH takeover, if you're Melody going into this, you win the HoH takeover, there's a lot of people that would just take the HoH over this week from Haley because they don't trust her. So they're going to be doing that power. We'll see if anybody wins that. I kind of expect D to win it, though, if I'm being honest. I think with Jason gone now, we talked about this earlier, when Jason was told he was top 3 in all of the time capsule votes, that kind of leads me to believe he was going to win it this week. Because if Jason was top 3 in all of the time capsule votes, right? We know Angela was 1 in the first one. We know Devins won the second one, so we can kind of assume that Devins was the second one in the vote, right? If we know Angela won the first week and Devins won the second week, we can kind of just assume that Angela was number 1, Devins was number 2, and Jason was number 3. And then on week 2, if Jason was still in the top 3, that means Devins was number 1, and D might have been 2 or D might have been 3. We don't know 100%. So now in this week, if Jason was still in there, it probably comes down to Jason or D on winning the power. And it's such a shame that Jason left this week in particular. Such a shame. Honestly, Lyric is a leech just like Drew. Tiny Tina. I like Lyric. I think Lyric is playing the game. She's doing what she can to try and survive. And I think she's savvy. I think she's trying to find her way in the game right now. And she's just doing what she can to stick around. It's damn steamroll season. Well, here's the thing, right? Yeah, first 3 weeks all went to the people in charge, pretty much the red corner, right? But here's the thing. With Haley's move here, I don't see any way the steamroll can continue on the mere fact that this is going to blow up the majority alliance. There's no way the tool shed survives this week if Drew goes up on the block. I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it. There's just no, like, and maybe it does, right? Maybe Drew's just like, hey, we're cool, no worries about it, right? But I don't see how you could. I just don't see how it could. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, and it will be a boring week this week. But I just don't see a way the tool shed can survive if Drew ends up on the block, and especially if Drew's not the target. Like if you're just putting Drew on the block and he's not the target, and you want him to stay anyway, what is the point? As we had another Jewel coming on in there, I missed that one too. I don't know who gave that one. I don't know who gave that one. Was that Joni again? Was that Joni again? Coming up with another Unk Alert? Is that what that was? The podcasters can't say this season sucks. Well, Andrew, I don't think this season does suck. Andrew, here's the thing. Fans can't say a season doesn't suck while it's happening. The people, like, and listen, sometimes podcasters are included in it. The people who watch this show, every single year, this is the worst. I'm never watching again. I'm boycotting the show. It's done. It's a steamer. This is the worst show ever. And then you're back again next season. Oh, and then guess what? Everyone goes, oh, I miss BB27. I miss BB20. BB27 was so much fun. Man, can't we have BB26 back? Do you guys remember Tucker? Every single year. Every single one. There's not one season I haven't heard that. And I think the only seasons I haven't heard somebody go back and say, actually, you know what? It was a good season. Was like 15, 21, and 22. Like those are like the only ones I think people don't go back and go, oh yeah, you know what? That was a good season. Because here's the thing, as bad as 9 was, I still think there's some stuff that you could go back and watch 9 and have some enjoyment of. I still think there's things on season 9 that it's like, actually, you know what? That was kind of fun. But yeah, I every single year, this is the worst season. I'm never watching again. These people are horrible. Big Brother rigs it. Every year's the worst season until the next season. Last year had the worst players. But last year was fun. I loved last year. I thought last year was fun. I still haven't watched the online one yet. Kim, you know what's sad about that? It's kind of impossible to do. Like right now, if you wanted to watch OTT, you really can't do it. Pretty much all of the episodes are all off of Paramount Plus. There was like, I think like 6 episodes they made of it, right? Because that was the other thing. It was all live, so it wasn't like there was like episodes each week, like 3 episodes each week. They kind of just did everything live, and then it was like, oh, here comes Thursday, and it was time for an eviction, right? But yeah, it's really hard to go back and watch Over the Top after the fact. And Over the Top's a good one. Like I'll admit, I didn't watch 100% of that season live. Just mainly time stuff, and I was busy at that time. That's like one of the only other seasons of Big Brother I've never seen. We had another Jewel coming on in. Is that Steffi? Steffi coming on in with a Jewel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So I didn't actually see that one like fully live. Like I would check out like things here and there, right? But I wasn't like following it like in depth. The only other season of Big Brother I didn't follow in depth was 21. 21, like halfway through, I quit that one. I was like, yeah, whatever. That I was just like, I'm done. I don't care anymore. I just don't care anymore. Who was that coming on in with more jewels? Jody coming on in with more jewels. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I still don't know what the jewels are. Steffi and Katie coming on in with more jewels. I see even more jewels coming on in. I don't even know if the Katie one showed up on screen yet. There's the Katie one. Thank you guys for the jewels. I still don't know what they are. I have no clue. I think it's like a TikTok thing they're bringing over here to YouTube. I don't know. But thank you guys for the jewels. I appreciate it. Was season 9 the criminal strippers chaos season? Technically, yes, Harmony. Technically, yes. Because the winner of season 9 went on to start a pill mill. I wish I was a joke. I wish that was a joke. But the winner of season 9, they took the money they won and they started a pill mill. They went Breaking Bad. Like they won Big Brother and they said, "You know what? I'm going to be Heisenberg now. I'm going to go and start my drug empire." Just woke up, saw the April results. Terrible. I know, April. But did you hear the crazy plan they got? So right now we got Haley as the HOH, but the crazy plan is to put Drew up on the block, but Drew is not her target. She doesn't want Drew to leave. She's putting her up with Drew up with Melody and I'm blanking now. Who else was it? Taylor. And Taylor is the target. Melody's the backup target. It's crazy. I don't understand it. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. Is that Glenn? What's up, Glenn? Feeds were on very late last night. Yes, they were on very late, early into the morning. It was a long one. And it was weird too, because it was almost like they heard that Haley was like, yeah, I'm not going to stay up late. As soon as I get my room, I'm going to sleep. And they were like, all right, well, let's just not give her room. They were like, guys, here's a crazy plan. Haley wants to go to bed. Let's not give her room. It was like, hold on. Let's just wait a minute. Force her to stay up. Ori, my favorite recapper. Victoria, thank you so much. I appreciate it. She's happy she's HOH. Oh, Chloe likes it. Oh my God, no way crowdfunding drug business through BB. That's what he did. That's what he did. Oh yeah, Crazy James. So here's the thing. Back when that season was going on, I wasn't like a huge Crazy James guy. Like, it wasn't like somebody I was rooting for until there was the girl on that season who had diabetes. And she was like running around the house. She was like doing laps or whatever. And all of a sudden, she just collapsed. Her blood sugar went super low. And I saw James jump into action. Like, I remember everyone else just kind of being like, what do we do? Like, nobody kind of knew what to do. James jumped right into it. He was getting her juice. Like, he was doing everything he could to help her in that moment. He was staying calm. He was keeping everybody else calm, right? And I was like, actually, I respect the hell out of James right now. Honestly, right? I like, she probably would have been okay, right? Like, the paramedics weren't too far away, but you don't know, right? Damn. Like, he definitely made it a lot easier for her to recover. He definitely made it a lot easier because he jumped right in and he knew what to do, and he handled it really well. When you got a guy whose name is Crazy James, but then he's like the most calm in the situation, you're like, oh, okay. Like, I guess maybe keep the crazy guy around. Was he military? Maybe. He might have been military. I don't know. But yeah, I respected that moment from him. Like, when I saw that happening, I was like, whoa, okay, James. Like, it really like put a like a spotlight on him. I was like, oh, okay. Yes, Laura, that's true, because the medics were in the DR dealing with someone else. That's right. And in fact, if it wasn't for the medics, you probably could even give James even more credit for saving her, right? Because like, if the medics weren't in the diary room dealing with somebody, they wouldn't have been that close. Laura, that's a really good point, because they were in there. Somebody else, I think they were sick. Like, I think they had like the flu or something. I forget exactly what it was, or maybe they had like, they got hurt in a comp or something like that. So the medics were dealing with them, and it just so happened that they were in the right place at the right time, but also like they were dealing with them. So it's like, how long, could she have been laying there before anybody realized? But like, they all jumped right to it. James was right there with it. And it was really cool. It was really cool to see like him like jump into the action like that. And I really respected it. Also, I've told you guys before, right? Like, the big thing with me and how I even got into Big Brother was watching with my mom and my grandmother. My mom was a very, had a very bad case of diabetes. Like, her blood sugar at times would run so low, and her body had gotten so used to it. There were times like, for example, I don't know if anybody here has any clue about blood sugar. The people who do, I'm about to tell you a number, and you're going to be like, what are you talking about? Like, no way. There were times where she was fully awake, fully conscious, like nothing was wrong, and her sugars were like 30s. They would be in like the 30s, and everything would be fine, and then all of a sudden, just like that, she'd be out, right? So it was something that I experienced a lot, just growing up with, and seeing him like jump into action like that, totally respected him right away. Because it was like, oh, like he knows what he was doing. Like, I don't know if he had like family members who were also diabetic. Rod said like 30 is wild, right? Completely wild. Many a times there would be like, oh yeah, you're at 36 right now. Right? And it's like, oh, let's get you some orange juice. Like, it was a bad case. But yeah, it was a thing. So like that's why, like, when I saw that happening, I was like, whoa. Yeah, not sleeping, Rod. Fully awake, talking to you. Would have a full conversation. Right? And nothing would seem wrong. No sweating, nothing. That's how used to her body got to having low sugars. It would always end up being like that. So yeah, she'd be down in like the low numbers. And like, once you start getting to like the 10s and stuff, like your body's shutting down. Like your body's just fully shutting down. So the fact that I saw James like dealing with that in the house, it was like, oh, I respect him a lot for how he was able to do that. Tough Ori, sorry she had to endure that. It was rough, but you know what? She had a really good life otherwise. With stuff, and things were good. Things were good. Did you see Joseph, his brother Adam, on The Amazing Race? Adam really shed a light on what it's like having diabetes. I actually didn't know that. I didn't like, I followed that season, but I didn't like follow that season, if that makes sense. But oh, that's interesting. Any predictions on what these house guests comics will be? Oh man. Mallory's probably going to be some kind of pipe queen. That'll be Mallory right off the bat. Angela could end up getting an egg, but I think there's other ways you can go with Angela, and we'll kind of see how the season goes. Lyric's gonna get something with Rome. Like Lyric will be some kind of a thing with Rome. Like Rome would be a pickleball, right? What would some other ones be? Drew should be a rat. Drew should just be like rat. Like he should be Rat Boy or something like that. Lyric will be Juliet. Oh, that would be funny. That would be funny. Rome has to be a pickle. Well, that's the thing, Glenn. I don't think you can do a rocket science for Mallory because that kind of exposes her a little bit, right? It kind of exposes her. I don't know if you can do that. That might just be a little too far. Bear is funny as in how much he is influenced by D, but it also looks like D might have something for him as well. I thought that at first, KR. I thought there was definitely something kind of going on where maybe D and Barrett could have even ended up being a little bit of a thing. But you are right. He is super influenced by D. Like, and even Devins and Angela. Like, he, just like Drew, really trusts in them for some reason, right? He doesn't trust in, the tool shed as a whole, but he trusts in them. And that's a thing. And then on D's side, she hasn't lost as much trust as she has with Drew, but they're definitely kind of a little bit aware of Barrett as well. And they're just trying to kind of keep him close on their side. So it's kind of a thing. Oh, infatuated, not influenced. Right? And I don't know. Maybe he does have a little bit of a thing for her. I think he also might have a little bit of a thing for Mallory. I think Barrett and Mallory have a little bit of a thing. I know Mallory's got one on Barrett. I know Mallory's got kind of a crush on Barrett. But I don't know. Yeah, I think he is a little wishy-washy, right? Like he's a little hard to actually read on like how he's actually feeling. But like, man, he's all over D all the time, right? Like he was all over D, especially that early time. Uncle Alert, uh-oh. Coming on in. Thank you so much. Is that Cynthia coming on in with the jewels? I appreciate it. Giving me that Unk alert. Man, am I an Unk now? Have I crossed over to Unk territory? I think it might have been. I think I might have crossed over to Unk territory. I'm an official Unk in like 2 months though. That's a thing as well. So that's a thing. I feel justified calling him Ratadrewy. I'm going to allow it. I'm going to allow it because it made me laugh a little bit. I'm going to allow it because it made me laugh a little bit. That would also be kind of a funny name for his BB comic. Ratadrewy, and it's just like a rat running around the like the BB kitchen or something. Oh man. This season makes me miss old school BB. Well, the thing is, I actually feel like this season has more old school BB feel than any other, right? This season, last season a little bit, season before that a little bit too. I definitely feel like we're trending in kind of like a better space for Big Brother. It feels like each season's getting a little bit more old school, a little bit more raw. We're still getting the corniness, right? We're still getting those corny jokes. That's always going to be a thing. But it does feel like we're heading in a good direction overall. I jumped in from my Kindle to say my blood sugars ran the same way. I drank box wine to do an experiment for a true crime missing child. Drank with sugar, and my readings were 50 to 40. Well, there you go, right? It can happen like that, and it's wild when they're that low. Because for a normal person, right, like for somebody who doesn't have any blood sugar issues, like you're at 40 and 50, like you're tired, you're exhausted, like you're almost passing out. Like you should be passed out. Like that is Like, that is not great. But when your sugars are that low and you kind of run that low, your body almost gets used to it, and it's really weird. But yeah, that definitely was a thing. I'm an OG BB blogger from season 2 to 11 for CBS. Oh, were you really? That's really cool. That's really cool. I wish they would bring back different ex-house guests. Tired of Jesse, he's blah. They do bring back Jesse a lot. I think we're going to see some more ex-house guests though this season. I think they're going to keep doing that for the competitions and stuff. I don't know if there was anybody for the HoH. I didn't hear anybody mentioned. But it was like an old-timey, like Old West almost. Like, maybe not Old West, but like kind of like it almost looked like Victorian. Like Jack the Ripper kind of an era in like England. That's kind of what they were wearing, if I had to describe it. Like Yash straight up looked like he could have been Jack the Ripper. He had like the black coat on and that black top hat or whatever. So yeah, I don't know if there was any alumni there at all, but I would definitely assume there's going to be more as the season goes on. Yeah, 80 to like 180 is like the normal range, right? So it's like if like the high normal is like 180, and then like you have somebody who's at 60, that's literally half the normal amount of like the sugar on a high end, right? So yeah, it gets nuts when you're down in those levels like that. What was the HoH competition Haley won? Was it physical? I wouldn't say physical. The way they were describing it, it kind of almost sounded like the one that Rachel won last year, or even similar to that one that I think Jag won, where they had to run around like a doctor's office and there were like different things in different rooms. But this one also sounded like there was some kind of like elimination to it as well. So I don't know 100% how that all worked, but it was like they had to go to different rooms and find specific items. And then I know it came down to the end. It was Yash and Haley. But I also know that Barrett, apparently, like, Haley was trying to even maybe throw it to him, she said. Like, she was kind of being like, oh, like, Barrett, it's over there. Like, you take it. And then he kind of said, like, to her, like, no, you take it. At least that's what she was kind of saying. So I don't know 100% how true that was. But yeah, that's kind of what the HoH comp was. So we get a mean girl in the HoH. Ugh. We get a mean girl in the HoH, but she was calling Melody a mean girl during her one-on-one. Can we go back to that for a second? The fact that Haley was saying to Melody that she was a mean girl. She was like, "You've really hurt me with everything you said." So yeah, that's kind of how their one-on-one went, which is great. Do you think Rachel will make it to be on Survivor? I don't know if she actually even wants that smoke. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't think Rachel would want to really do it. She might say she wants to do it, but deep down, I don't think Rachel actually wants to do it, right? Like, did you see how she was dressing in BB27? Did you see her outfits? You can't get those outfits on Survivor. But I do think with Survivor players being on BB, I do think there's a chance we might see a couple of them on some upcoming seasons. I know like 50 and 52, 51 and 52 are already kind of in the works already. Like, I think they already have like casts and shit for 52, so that one's kind of wrapped up. But maybe 53 there's something, I don't know. Survivor doesn't seem to want to do too much with Big Brother. Brittany Hayes is your favorite. She was great in the dire rooms. Brittany has like all-time dire rooms. She was great at that. Sequins are not allowed on Survivor. Let's see. Where are we at here? Rachel might be the GOAT. She would never do Survivor. Dee will change Haley's mind. That's the thing too, is what's gonna happen today when Haley goes and has her conversations with the rest of the alliance. Here's the thing though. You guys say Dee will change Haley's mind. But Dee was also saying last night that her and Devins want to make Haley hated. And what better way to make her hated than say, yeah, put Drew up on the block. They were literally saying they wanted to get Haley to do her own tea party. They wanted Haley to be hated in this house. Because that's the other thing too. The icons, I don't even know if I've really mentioned this that much because I feel like it always slips my mind. The icons really would want Haley to go first of the Chuck, Kamu, and Haley trio. They want Haley out before even Chuck and Kamu. So it would be interesting to see how that will actually go. T-Mac, you would think Lala was in trouble, would you not? When you hear Haley won HoH, you would automatically assume, oh, Lala's going right up on the block, right? Nope. In fact, she told Lala she's good this week. Haley's plan is to put up Taylor, Melody, and Drew right up on the block. And Drew is not her target. Melody is not her target. Taylor is her target. And again, you might be saying, Ori, there's no way. No, this is literally what she said to Chuck. Chuck, the person that she trusts the most in the house. Like, Chuck is her guy. And this is what the plan that she laid out to him. I was like, maybe there's a chance she's just lying, right? Maybe Drew would actually be her target if he were to go on the block. But no, it's not. Taylor is her target. It's crazy. Haley's a mastermind. I don't know about that. You all should watch House of Villains. It's so good. I've seen the first season. I haven't seen, I think the second season's the one with Paul and Mr. Spectacular. Is that the second season? Or is that the third season? I don't remember which one's which. But I've seen the first season for sure. I don't remember what the second season was. If the second season was the one with Paul, I haven't seen that one. Is that the third? Then I might have seen the second season because they bring New York back or something. And then wait, who was on the second season? Was that the one with who was on that one? Because Bananas and all them were on the first one, and then I know I did see the one with Omarosa, and my favorite part with Omarosa is she kept trying to do this thing where she would almost like try and bully production, and then production would just like be like, no, actually, like this is not going to happen. Like there was one moment where she was like, the doctor said I was not allowed to play in this competition. I am excused from playing. And then they go to like the doctor in the diary room, and it's like this guy's like, I never said that, and I'm not a doctor. It was like they just completely blew her up. And then there was another one where like she said like the one girl hit her with a tambourine, and like she was like, oh, my arm, she hit me with the tambourine. So then they literally slow-mo the video of the tambourine missing her arm completely. They were dunking on Omarosa that whole season. The cowboy hat has more personality than he does. Oh, are you taking a shot at Chuck? Oh boy. What's up, Susan? How are you? I forgot about that. Oh, yeah, that was the best. That was really funny. Yeah, I'm not a doctor. It was literally like, the doctor told me I'm not allowed to do it. And he's like, I never said that, and I'm not a doctor. It was like, not only did I not say that, I'm not a doctor. She said, my lawyers are going to be on the phone. It was funny. Chuck is a snooze fest. He's boring big time. He's definitely laying low. Johnny Fairplay crying all over the pinball machine. You guys wanna know some funny stories? I've held Johnny Fairplay's tooth. I've held Johnny Fairplay's tooth in my hand. Johnny Fairplay's tooth right here in my hand. Laura's like, ooh. Well, it didn't come out of his mouth like immediately. Everyone's like, wait, what? Why? All right, I guess let me explain this. All right, so if you guys don't know, there's kind of this famous clip. It was like the reality TV awards or something like that. And Johnny Fairplay was presenting an award with Danny Bonaducci from the Partridge Family, right? He was, the little redheaded kid on the Partridge Family. Had the reality show Breaking Bonaducci and all that kind of stuff, right? So Johnny Fairplay and Danny Bonaducci are presenting an award at this award show. Oh, not just punch. I am sleep deprived. It is wild. Anyway, Johnny Fairplay and Danny Bonaducci are presenting an award at an award show, and you're still probably like, Ori, how does this lead to you holding his tooth? I'll get there. They're presenting an award, and I don't know what Johnny was thinking. He just jumped on Danny Bonaducci, and I don't know if you guys know Danny Bonaducci very well. He's not exactly an easygoing guy. So Johnny Fairplay jumps on him, and Danny Bonaducci like grabs him. He's almost in like a powerbomb stance and tosses Johnny Fairplay over his shoulder. Johnny goes flying into the stage, and it knocks his tooth out. So what did Danny do? He took the tooth and he wore it on a necklace around his neck for years. Now, how do I get to hold it? I actually was an intern for the Danny Bonaducci show when he was here in Philly way back in the day. He had a morning show in Philly, and I was his intern for a couple of months. And he was telling me this story. He's like, yeah, I still wear it around my neck. And he takes it off and he gives me it. And I'm holding Johnny Fairplay's tooth in my hand. Yeah, it's a thing. Oh, also, by the way, I got beef with Johnny Fairplay myself. I got beef with him myself. Let's just say maybe there's some thievery going on. So Johnny Fairplay, if you see this, just know, Ori and the Oreos, we're coming for you, Johnny Fairplay. It's on. But yeah, that's my Johnny Fairplay holding his tooth story. I love them in the Partridge Family. Danny was funny. Danny was a funny guy. He was intense. He was very intense. And by the time I knew him, he was way better off than he was in the Breaking Bonaducci days. He was sober. He was doing pretty well. He was doing well for himself. I don't know if he was sober, but like in moderation. I don't know if he was like fully sober. I forget now. But he was definitely doing better. He was definitely in a better place. He had it rough for a while, but he ended up being in a good spot. Let's see, where we at here? Please vote out Camus. Glad to hear it. No, this was after steroids. This was I met Danny after the steroids. Yeah, he's from the area in Broomall, New Jersey, and his dad, I think, or his grandfather, one of the two, was like a really big radio guy in Philly, like way back in the day. And then he started doing radio out in like the West Coast, and then eventually he came to Philly, did a whole show. It was a thing. But yeah, that's my holding Johnny Fairplay's tooth in my hand. Is hilarious. Now I need to see the necklace. Thanks for sharing the story. If you look it up, like Danny Bonaducci, hold on, let me see if I can look it up here real quick. I know there's a picture. Danny Bonaducci, Johnny Fairplay tooth. Let's see if there's an image. Is there an image of the necklace? There's no image of the necklace that I'm seeing, but he did wear it. I held it. No, that doesn't have it. But there is a picture here of him tossing him over his shoulder. That is those feet. Those are the feet of Johnny Fairplay. Johnny's head over here. He jumped on the Danny, and Danny went whoop. So that was the thing. Haley is a snake. Well, she's attempting to put up or is there no Broomall, New Jersey? Where's Broomall at? I know it's in the area. I thought it was in Jersey. But Haley is planning to put up Drew, which is definitely a thing. It is definitely a thing. He carries brass knucks. Oh yeah, he carried brass knucks. He was Danny was an interesting guy. He was an interesting guy. Couldn't happen to a better guy. Right? Couldn't have a better guy. But with that said, everyone, I think it is time to call it for the day. Thank you guys all so much for joining me here, hanging on out. We had over 1,000 people watching, even right now. Thank you guys all so much for joining me. Listen, if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like this stream, if you had a good time during this stream, make sure you smash that like button. If you're watching this after the fact, you had a good time, make sure you smash that like button. Hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. We do daily live feed updates here all season long, first thing in the morning. Fridays, we go live, though. It's always a lot of fun. We do watch parties for the episode. Make sure you come on out for that. I seriously cannot thank you guys enough for all the love and support you guys do give me on this channel. Everything that we've built here, like, yeah, I'm the guy talking on the mic, but you guys are the ones that really make this all possible. I cannot thank you enough for everybody who comes on out. I'm still surprised even one person shows up sometimes. If you do want to support the channel more, there are a bunch of different ways you can do that. You can become a member. You can join the, you can do the Ori Fund, exclamation Ori Fund, help support Oris everywhere. All of our socials, check out oristreams.com. The Discord, check out the Discord. It's a great place to hang out, especially when you're watching feeds, you're looking for that chat. Thank you guys all just so much. I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you. I know I say it a lot, but I never want it to lose its meaning. But I truly, truly do love each and every one of you. Thank you guys all again so much. And I will see you tomorrow.